news and basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
NBA, some college, a little bit of everything.
You know, what can I say? But it wasn't going to happen here with him.
You are listening to the Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay Along for the Ride podcast, a member of the CLNS Media Network. The show is brought to you by PrizePicks, North America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download today. Use code CLNS to get $50 when you play 5. PrizePicks, run your game. Jeff Goodman is on the road. He is not able to make it today. He is here in spirit nonetheless. Okay, Bob, just goes to show how far the WNBA has come. It is the biggest story in the world of basketball right now that Steve Pagliuca, our good friend from the Boston Celtics, who really wanted to own the Celtics, and it didn't work out between he and Wick, has offered $325 million for the Connecticut Sun and pledges to build a $100 million practice facility. But there are issues. What are your thoughts?
The issue is that the league says we decide what happens in this regard in terms of, look, the point is he wants to move the team from the Mohegan Sun situation in Connecticut to Boston. And this is a franchise relocation. And the Kathy Engelbert, that's commissioner of WNBA, points out that a relocation is definitely has to be approved by the Board of Governors, and that so it's not like you arbitrarily do this. It would have to be so. And before anything that the reason for that is they want anybody. This is any league, and this does make sense that you don't want someone coming in, buying a team, and moving it somewhere where you don't want it, and no way to stop him or her from doing that. Well, it's not that they and you would think they'd be very happy to come to Boston. Now, she pointed out apparently when they're having this, they're about to expand in a big way over the next couple of years. Three new cities, one of whom was not Boston, and she's saying, well, Boston wasn't involved in the nobody was bidding or something for Boston. That's a lame excuse. They have a very viable guy here in Steve Pagliuca. She should be very happy to have him in their league. Okay, that's A. So he's proposed this, and I would think that reasonable people would come to an understanding this is a very good idea. Meanwhile, there's competition, and Mr. Masry in Connecticut is now saying that he's interested in buying the team and relocating it not to neighboring Massachusetts, but keeping it in the Nutmeg State. To Hartford. And this got Coach Jen Rosati, a UConn grad and star, as we know, happy. I'm a Connecticut girl. I'm very proprietary toward my state. So not that she ultimately would have any say in anything, other than, endorsement, but she has no power to stop her or do anything. But she's saying, oh, isn't that nice? Now, we know that there's been professional sports experience in Hartford, that the Carolina Hurricanes were born as the Hartford Whalers, and the Hartford Whalers were a charter member of the WHA, and they eventually moved. The patronage did kind of fall off, yes, and they moved. But and Hartford would be a kind of a logical place for, in a sense, because of the Connecticut connection that they've always had. But when they formed the Connecticut Sun, the idea was that they were going to be able to live off the glory of UConn in somehow, some way, meanwhile, Boston is the closest big municipality for them to have publicity. Anyway, that's what's going on. Steve Pagliuca, we'll see. I'm rooting for him. We want him to do this, and I think it's fine. It's time for a WNBA franchise in Boston. I don't think it's a question.
I think you make a very good point. There is a process. And that process has to go through the proper method, right? We have to see that process enacted. I think it's going to be Boston. It's more money than what they're offering in Connecticut. They came to Boston this year. They sold out twice. My daughter is an athlete. She's 14 years old. She wants to go. She was bugging me to go to Fenway the other night. She loves to go to games. She went to the NCAA lacrosse championships in Foxborough. Whether it be the Garden, or if someday there's a new facility for the Celtics with the new ownership, this team would do extremely well here in Boston.
Now, the location is an issue because obviously as the present time, there was only one viable place to play, and that's the Garden.
Right.
Yeah, but finding dates would be very problematic, I think.
Well, you're going to have to deal with Delaware
Celtics,
North,
the Bruins, and all the other. My wife and I were commiserating the other day about this. There's all these shows that are going on in the Boston with people that we didn't even know existed, let alone right. So, but it's a busy venue, and trying to find the dates, and then making sure that you've got some clearance for if and when you have playoffs and all, which are iffy dates, as we know in any sport, and any in basketball, in terms of who's going to actually be occupying those dates. So there's issues with Boston. There's no doubt right now for some an immediate relocation. And there's loose talk about another building, but I don't know. So that to me that's the biggest issue to me. They should be welcoming Steve Pagliuca, and they should be welcoming the idea of Boston being the city. However, they do have to work out that thorny issue of dates.
That's an excellent point, Bob. And that is it right there. Because I think that he will be approved by the WNBA. I think it makes complete sense. But Delaware North, and we know Jeremy Jacobs and the Bruins, they have a price.
Oh, hey,
they have a price. Look, you want to play your games here? Okay, let's talk. They're certainly not going to lose money. So they would have to make up the money that they would lose by not booking concerts. Now, I can tell you this, and I think we both know this. Steve Pagliuca, prior to the sale of the Celtics, the last time I saw his value in print was like 20 years ago, and who knows what it is, but it was close to 900 million. Okay, at the time, this was a long time ago. So with the sale of the team, I mean, Pags is a billionaire. Let's face it. So if he has to pay rent, like if Jeremy Jacobs is going to jack the rent on Pags will pay it. He's going to pay it. He wants to own a team. He wants to have a team here. But you're right. That is an excellent point. Delaware North is going to want their money going to want their lease money, and I think Pags will pay it.
Well, it's not just the money; it's just the idea of finding dates.
But here's the thing, Bob. Here's the thing you can do with the dates, though. You're right. I mean, some things are pre-booked, but what they're going to have to do is everything. Listen, everybody's got a price. You know what I mean? I mean, like this is not going to happen. Like if they're not coming here next season.
Oh no.
Right. So I don't know how far the dates are booked.
Plenty of time to work it out. Right. You're right.
I mean, but it's a really good point. I mean, they're not going to play at BU.
No, there's no auxiliary. There's no auxiliary.
Yeah, so they're not going to play in Worcester.
They're not going to play at BC.
But
they're not going to play at BC.
Right.
BC's. That's already built with basketball and hockey. Not to mention it's the capacity.
Yeah. So So Delaware North is going to go to Pags and going to go. This is what we brought in for revenue with all of these concerts. You need to match it, and I think Pags will do it because he's got the deep pockets and he wants a team. I think it would be great. Look, I got to say something about Steve Pagliuca. He's a friend. I like him. I've always liked him. He loved owning the Celtics. He loves basketball. I've never seen the guy have a bad day. I mean, he's always calm. He's always, Wick and I used to get into it. Wick's very emotional, and I like Wick a lot. Mm-hmm. Pags is just a great guy, and I hope he gets it. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Very good.
All right. Okay. Now, let's go on to Georges Niang. Now, this is where I wish Goodman was here because his friend Georges Niang is off to the Jazz, which that wasn't a surprise. Along with 2 second-round picks for R.J. Lewis Jr., and the Celtics pick up Chris Boucher with a 1-year, $3.3 million deal. I mean, I got to tell you, Bob, it's a little depressing when this is what we're talking about with the Celtics. I mean, this is not big news, but we got to talk about it.
Well, it's money, I mean, it's further reduction on the salary.
Right.
And more, they're going to gain more quote unquote payroll flexibility, now that they're going to be under the apron and they're going to have.
Below the second
true.
Yeah.
And it's actually true, but people don't want to hear it, And in this case, I'm disappointed. I wanted to have Georges Niang around.
Right.
We wanted to have a local guy, and a very personable local guy, by the way, to have around here, and it would have been nice. And the exchange of talent is fairly equal, I think. Boucher will be, by the way, he's 6'8", for people who don't know. He'll be 33 in January. Okay, been in the league since 17, 18. Started out with the Warriors, did the two-way contract thing. In fact, was one of the pioneer guys involved with the two-way contracts. Okay, and then he finally made it with the Warriors, and then he went on to the Raptors, and he's been with the Raptors since the 2018-19 season. So he's a Raptor man. And by the way, was the last surviving member of the 2019 championship team. So no more. They have no more players who play in that team now in Toronto. His career, he's a 6'8" forward, and his career average is 8.9 points a game, with a high in the 2021 season of 13.6. Last year he averaged 10 points a game for the Raptors. He doesn't mind twanking up threes. His career percentage is it's 30 some percent. 34. So he'll enjoy coming here to allow him to shoot those threes. And obviously he's a seasoned veteran, so that's all I can tell you. His background. He was a former teammate at one point of Peyton Pritchard at the University of Oregon. He was not a highly recruited guy at all. As a matter of fact, he didn't even play high school basketball. He was playing AAU only, I think. And he was born in the island of St. Lucia and raised in of course he's a Canadian. He's il est de Montréal. So hence the name Chris Boucher. There you go. He was not highly recruited, did the junior college route, and then went to Oregon. And I do remember seeing him at Oregon, but I can't say I've been closely following his career ever since. So, but there he is, Chris Boucher. He's now ours. And of course, the lingering question that the outside world keeps assuming and asking is, what are they going to do with Anthony Simons? Do they want him or don't they want him? That's the one dangling thing left on the roster right now that we have to keep our eye on. Is wither Anthony Simons.
Well, there you have it, Bob. So that's our Celtic Minute. Now let's get to something that NBA.com has been up on it. And when I looked at their power rankings in the East and power rankings in the West, I was like, oh my God. Yawn. Cleveland, New York, Orlando, Detroit, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Philly. The Pacers are out of the top 8, of course, because they lost a player and their best players out for the season. When Cleveland was a bust in the playoffs and they're ranked number 1, obviously the Celtics aren't in the mix because they don't have Tatum. Milwaukee and Philadelphia are down at the bottom of the heap because it comes down to health, I guess. I mean, Philly, it's all about can they stay healthy.
Yeah,
I would think Milwaukee would be a little bit higher. But, I mean, your thoughts on the top 8?
I would rank New York number 1 myself. So,
yeah, I get that.
I mean, that's number 1. I would rank New York number 1 and then go from there. You're right. It's not all that inspiring right now. I got my eye on Orlando. I don't know what they're going to be able to accomplish, but I'm bullish on Banchero and Wagner. I got my eye on them. It's not not a lot of overwhelming competition here. I mean, in the East, that's for sure. The Celtics, would have healthy. They would have been, they would have been right there. I think, no question. But so anyway, I can't.
Celtics would have been number 1 if Tatum's healthy. Come on.
Yeah, I can't get excited about this right now.
Oh my God! This is what I'm doing, Bob. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to adopt a team from each conference and follow them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm going to follow the Celtics. Of course I am. And I'm going to root for them. But I am going to become a Piston fan.
Oh, yeah. I that they're a growth stock. So yeah, they'll be fun to watch. So absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a good choice.
But you know, the city needs it. They've been down in the dumps. Look, I hated the bad boys. Forget. I mean, but I'm kind of rooting for the Pistons. I mean, I want the Celtics to. I love to see the Celtics make a run. I don't. Who knows what's going to happen? Um, but but I like. Do you think the Celtics should be out of the top eight?
I think that's exactly where I got them. In the play-in, if
Playing 9-10.
yeah, that's it. 8, 9, 8. Yeah, that's where they should be right now. I think it's anything higher than 8. Really optimistic. That's about where I'd have them.
Yeah.
8, 9.
All right.
Now,
So yeah, I'm picking the. I'm going to go.
and how about the West?
Now, what is going to be interesting is the coaching change in New York. You and I have talked about it. And while it was very hard because, Thibs is a friend of yours, I'm a fan of Thibs. We made the comparison that it was going from Fitch to Casey Jones. It might work for New York.
It might very well. I think, Mike Brown has credentials, and yeah, Thibs is heat seeking guy. He's an intense guy. I don't know what the daily tension is, in a sense that
Right.
does he really, Mike Brown doesn't have that kind of aura. It's definitely a different aura. Although I must say, all year I following the Knicks, and the players, they basically had very good things to say about playing with Thibs. So I know Jalen, Brown certainly did. So
And Brunson.
Jay Brunson. I mean, I got my.
And it's okay, dude. I guess.
Both JB, by the way. Think about that. I got Brunson. I got Mr. Brunson's approval on him. Anyway, yeah, I think that's a very good idea. But there's no reason not to think the Knicks are going to win. Not Knicks. I mean, they got over/unders like 55 wins, as far as I'm concerned. And
the Knicks could win the East.
Yeah. No,
the Knicks could win the East.
They got no excuse not to. Frankly, right now with the competition out there that they're facing, the Knicks should be. They have no excuse.
Do you think that the reputation that Thibs is not flexible and Mike Brown will be flexible with strategy and playing time and listening to the players, is that fair or is that an unfair perception?
It can be exaggerated, but I mean, Thibs. The thing that Thibs did have to answer for was the bench use and the stress on the starters. And then he might come back and say, "Well, who are these guys you want me to play instead of the guys I was playing?" And it's true. So some of those guys were the bench guys were erratic. But it was, other than that, I don't know whether the specific strategic argument people could have against him at all. It was that, just that one. And he did rectify it a little bit. He did soften up, not soften, but adjust more this year particularly. It was very acute in the preceding season, but it became less of an issue as the season went on. He was playing people and a little more. And particularly now, it helped him, at the beginning because he had Mitchell Robinson back. Remember, he started the season without Mitchell Robinson, and he's an important piece of their puzzle. And then he wound up, finding out that we can play Towns and Robinson together. Thankfully, because Towns is a perimeter-oriented 7-footer, and Mitchell Robinson's range is like 3 feet, but he does block that shot. He does guard that rim, and it actually was a pretty useful tandem.
Okay. All right, moving on to the West again. Yawn. Now, they've got OKC, shocking.
Yeah.
Which for basketball purposes, they're a fun team to watch. They're a great team to watch. It's just they don't have the pizzazz. OKC, Denver, Houston, Minnesota, they've got 4th, Clips, Lakers. Anthony Edwards, he was supposed to be the next Jordan, right? He's the next great thing. Has his stock taken a hit?
I don't necessarily think so. If it is, not a big one. And I mean, I've got to tell you, I'm one of the ones guilty of making that comparison in terms of the whole body build and approach and he plays with a not just a flair. That's not the word I want. With an edge, he plays with an edge. Michael played with an edge. Michael played with a bleep you edge, and this guy's got that. He plays with a bleep you edge, and he's extremely self-confident, to say the least. I think he's definitely a top 10 player right now. So,
Be interesting. Okay, quick timeout from Bob. Get back to it in a minute. PrizePicks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less and at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. And they have invented Flex Play, which is exactly as it sounds. It's flexible, which means if you can still cash out of your lineup if it isn't perfect, and you can double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when your picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes, and it's always good to get that cash. Every Tuesday, PrizePicks will discount several projections on the board, usually by 15% to 25%. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. So we all know baseball season coming down the home stretch. What do you think's happening? So you can just go game by game. You just pick more or less. Ohtani, more than 5 strikeouts, more than 6 strikeouts, less than 10 strikeouts, more than 2 RBI. He's a fun guy to play, obviously. Bo Bichette, more or less than 3 hits. What do you think? Log on and try and play the game with PrizePicks. Again, just pick more or less. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. For those listening to this show, we ask that you subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. For those watching the show on CLNS, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the Celtics All Access YouTube channel, where you can find our show and a lot of other great Celtics content. Also, please make sure to turn on your notifications so you know the instant a new video drops. All right, let's get back to the show. So here, and then I'll let you give us our thoughts in the West. I'm going to do with the West that I did with the East. Mm-hmm. I picked Detroit. Again, folks, not abandoning the Celtics. So the Detroit and then Houston on the West.
Yeah.
Right? And that's your guy.
I like the good choice. Very good choice. And Houston, they made some waves last year. No, that's a good one. But I think we pretty much draw a line, OKC, and then draw a line.
I know.
And then the bunching up starts. And both teams in LA are going to be interesting to chart their progress or lack of same. Clippers, we've said this in the world. It's amazing that they are going to go to war with a roster that has 1 player under the age of 30 of any prominence, and his average is 30. It's all it's the AARP team of the year right there, and I just don't see how that can work in the end. But they're going to go to the war with everybody over 30. And then the Lakers, of course, they're always a soap opera, and they will continue to be one. And now we've got this transfer of a nominal, a supposed transfer of power, the unofficial anointing of Mr. Doncic as the quote face of the franchise. And meanwhile, we have a rather formidable presence still sitting in that locker room named Mr. James.
Yeah,
how he's reacting. Do you have to go get his approval? You wonder how they work and internally. Seriously, you really do.
Is it okay, LeBron, that Luke is the face of the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that. It's funny. Now maybe all of us in the outside world are overreacting to that, but they have made a big show in the off season of their official welcoming to Doncic. Now he's responded, with this body transformation that we talked about last time out, and it's so I got to admit I'm very curious about how they're going to how things are going to go in LA. And with the Lakers. I don't really give a damn what happens to the Clippers, but that I do kind of curious about the Lakers.
I think that's the other story, So those are my three themes: Detroit, Houston, and what goes on with the Lakers. Because if he is in shape, we all know that they've made a big deal of this new body of his, and they do make a run. They don't have the depth. We understand that, but because the teams, there's just not a dynasty, So we have to look for other storylines. That's it.
Yeah,
and that's fine. All right, Robert. We did it again, my friend. Anything else on your mind before we say so long?
No, but I don't think so. We're just, as I say, the Celtics. We're just waiting to see. Okay, about Simons, and then other than that, they're kind of settling in. To the team they're going to go to war with.
Good luck, Pags, and good luck, Pags. You've been listening to the Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay Along for the Ride pod. Member of the CLNS Media Network. The show is brought to you by PrizePicks, North America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download today and use code CLNS to get $50 when you play 5. PrizePicks. Run your game.